Hi, everyone, and welcome to Orrefors Designer Talks Episode 1 with Lena Bergström. From our side today, we have our marketing manager, Erin Rollo.
Hi.
We have me, the CEO of Orrefors and Costa Boda, but we're going to focus on one of our brands, Orrefors. And then the one and only, the fantastic Lena Bergström. That is one of our foremost designers and is behind some of the number one collections, or the number one collection for Orrefors in the United States for the last 5 years, or I would say international, the number one collection, Karat. So, and thank you. And I hope that everyone can have a little bit understanding, because this is the first time we're doing this Designers Talks. We're going to do this every month going forward. And Lena, we're so nice to take of her time to be on the first pilot episode. So thank you, Lena, and thank you, Erin. Okay. And thank you, Erin, because Erin has been taking care of all Zoom, learning about how that works. And we normally work with Google Meet, but has done a fantastic job with the invitation, the presentation, and putting everything together. So thank you, Erin, for a great job.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we can jump over to the next page, Erin.
Okay. One.
You can just slide. Yes, thank you. So my name is Iman Marshall. I'm born and raised in Sweden. I moved over to New York, or United States, a little bit more than a year ago. So I just came just before the pandemic. I've been working with Orrefors and Costa Boda for 8 years. 7 years I worked for Orrefors in Sweden and Costa Boda. And I started as a sales manager or I started with regular sales, and then I became the manager. And then one day I got the opportunity to move over and become the president and CEO of Orrefors and Costa Boda North America. In today's presentation, we are going to focus on one of our brands, and that's Orrefors. Because Lena, as a designer, she works with both brands that we have. But today's presentation is going to focus on Orrefors. And later on this year, Lena is going to come back and talk with us how it is to be a designer for Costa Boda. So look out for that. We can go to the next slide. So there's a place called the Kingdom of Crystal. It's located in Sweden, in a place called Småland. It's on the southeast part of beautiful country, Sweden. And the reason why it's called the Kingdom of Crystal is back in the days, there used to be many glassworks in this area, because it was close to the water if there would ever be a fire, because all of the furnaces back in the days were heated up by the wood. It's a lot of forest around Costa, where we are located in Småland. So that's why it became the Kingdom of Crystal. This is our factory, the beautiful factory, the heart in our production, or in our brand. It's called Costa, and it was founded in 1742. So the small village where we produce our products is literally called Costa, as like one of our brand. And we used to have a facility in another place called Orrefors, but a couple of years ago, we decided to combine all production to one location, and that is today in Costa. So even if we produce Orrefors products, if they are made in Sweden, they are made in Costa factory. So we produce for both brands there. In Costa, if we just go back one slide, we have been producing, as I said, glass since 1742. And we have people that have been working with the glass for 7 generations. So there's a really big family, making each and every product in our factory. If we go to the next slide, and it's a very, very small village. It's 800 people living in that small village called Costa. If you go to Orrefors, Orrefors was founded in 1726, but at that time it was focusing only on like an ironworks and metal products. But the year that we connect or symbolize Orrefors, or the Orrefors Crystal brand today, is 1898. So it's also it's a company with a very long heritage that is very beautiful. And here's a short timeline of our story. I will jump a little bit to the end and talk about a very fantastic and interesting project that we're doing. That in 2015, we became one of the world's first manufactured to cars. So we are producing for all Volvo cars. If you decide to buy the hybrid that goes with electrical vehicle and gas, you will get a handmade crystal gear shift that is produced in Sweden by hand. So in all hybrid cars from Volvo cars, you will see a beautiful crystal gear shift. So I really recommend to Google Volvo and Orrefors. And we will have a slide later on showing how that design looks. And who is then this fantastic lady that I can call a dear friend, but also a colleague? I've been working with Lena for over 8 years, or 8 years now, and we have done a lot. Yeah, it's 8 years, Lena. Long time, but it's been going fast, and we have been doing so many interesting projects throughout these years. But I just want to, I know that Lena doesn't like to brag, so I'm going to brag for her because I think she's a fantastic, both human being, but also as a fantastic designer. So Lena works not only with crystal, she works with textiles, with some of Europe's foremost brands. She, of course, works with crystal that she does for us. She received her artistic education at one of the foremost schools in Europe, in Sweden, called Konstfack. In English, you can say University of Arts, Craft and Design. She started working with Orrefors at 94. I know it's hard to believe, but it's 94. She started working for us. She had won the excellent Swedish Design Award 6 times for her crystal designs. She has also won a lot of other trophies and prizes for other products she has produced in other materials. And she's also represented, as you can see here, at the National Museum in Stockholm, Sweden, at the Röhsska Museum in Gothenburg, Cleveland Museum of Art, Victoria and Albert Museum in London, England. She is all over the world, and she's on a lot of locations here in the United States too. And Lena's design really makes you feel like there's a story to tell. And I hope that by today's talk, that we're going to be able to hear more about her thoughts behind the design and really understand her products a little bit more because they are just, you know, fantastic. Lena, did I miss anything? Is there something you want to add?
What a presentation! It sounds like you're talking to another person. No, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Emma.
Yeah. Thank you, Lena. Okay, so are we going to go to the next slide?
Yes.
Should we go to the next? So many of you might recognize this beautiful product. It's called Puck, and this product has won a lot of awards. And I think this is a very good way of showing how a product can be so simple in its design, but still so a lot of expression and feeling and thoughts. And really, this is a real beautiful timeless product that works today as it have done for the last 20 plus years that we've had this product in our collection. This is one of our most sold votives all over the world, still today. And if I don't miscall, Lena, correct me if I say wrong, did we produce this in 95?
Yes, that's correct. This is one of my first products. And talking, may I talk? May I speak?
Yes, of course. So I will say this, over to you now. Like I'm not gonna go down in science, so I'm gonna leave over the microphone to you now, Lena.
No. I love that you ask questions. Please continue. Yeah. It's actually talking of background, because at that time, 1994, when I started to work with Orrefors, I admired the Kosta Boda votive, you know, the snowball. And I felt it's so nice to design a votive people could afford. And I thought the snowball was about snow. And I felt a little bit, okay, I put this idea behind me, maybe it pop up something. And after 1 year, I felt, of course, I'm going to design the ice. I'm not going into the snow, I'm going into the ice. And I'm brought up in the northern part of Sweden, Umeå, and we were a lot spending time, winter holidays in the mountains. And I used to do this pimple fishing. I don't know the English word, you know, you drill the hole in the ice.
Ice fishing.
And you do this fishing. And, you know, I felt, why not doing this whole piece of ice? Because at that time, the votives at Orrefors was a lot of pattern and it was busy. And I just wanted to show, you know, how nice our crystal quality is. And I wanted to light to put on the top so it become halos when you put the light on. And of course, it needed to be a group. And I felt, you know, at that time, I felt that, oh, this is, I mean, don't any producer do this? No, no, no. We were alone with this kind of design. So that was the beginning. And this is really a close friend of mine. It's a very nice start. I'm so happy that it's still in the collection. It became a sort of, I mean, a classic. And the purity of the crystal.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And actually,
the simplicity is beautiful.
And a journalist asked me, it was an interview, and she said, how many sister or brothers do you have? And I have 2 sisters, so we are actually 3. So this you can look like my family, so to speak, me and my sisters.
You know, thank you, Lena, for sharing that. I think, tack. And I think that we should, if you, Erin, just show a little bit slow the other pictures that we have in this part of the presentation. And then I think I can start with some questions just to get the dialogue started.
Okay.
And I'm just shortly gonna, or maybe Lena, maybe you can shortly tell us a little bit, what do we see in front of us?
Oh, this is actually a wristwatch I did for some years ago. I got a brief from the company. Could you please design a Orrefors wristwatch? And I felt, should I be short or long?
You can be short-ish version.
Short,
we're gonna come back. Yeah.
Okay, we can come back. But this is the I got the brief to do the Orrefors wristwatch, and I was very pleased and proud to do this because it's wearable. And we can come back because that's.
We'll come back, yeah.
And this is assignment. You know, the hotel magnate Peter Stordalen, the Norwegian guy. They have a lot of hotels in Scandinavia. He asked the company, or it came to me, the work, to design a giant reception disc at his Hotel Post in Gothenburg. And this is really an opportunity because I love to design also things for interior design, from small little things and for bigger projects. And this is actually talking from the wristwatch to this desk. It's actually 800 kilo crystal, hand-cutted crystal. But should we come back, because this is very nice story, yeah? And this is...
Yeah, and it's just to get a perspective, it's 29 feet long, just to get an American perspective on how you know, long it is.
Yeah, so 9 meter times 2 meter, I don't know, yeah. But we can come back. Yeah, and this is Karat, that you can see here, some objects from the Karat series. Actually started with the candle holders on the left-hand side. And that was actually a brief to modernize the cutted crystal. And I felt, I want to do an irregular cut that show our time, and with a very soft foot and a cloth and a holder. But we can come back to that.
Yes, we will come back.
This is a planet, a unique piece, because we do pieces or for regular production. This is an example of my planet in platina as unique pieces that we do. Sarek, that we can come back to the collaboration with Volvo. Yeah, this is me.
And with that, I just want to say, Yes, thank you, Lena, so much. I also want to say to everyone that is here today, in the Zoom, you can always ask questions in the chat or in the Q&A function down below. So if you have any questions throughout these presentations, they want to ask to Lena, Erin, or me, please use the Q&A or the chat function, and Erin will supervise that and make sure that we will ask the questions at the end. Okay, so at the end, we will do questions. Thank you, Lena. So let's take this from the beginning, and let's hear a little bit more about like how did your career start, and how did you start working with glass?
After school, I started my own company, and mostly at that time, I worked with textile assignment. Then I was headhunted by Orrefors. They were looking for new designers. And I was happy and pleased, and I felt, oh my God, Orrefors. And I was given different projects for 3 months. And after that, I was hired.
Oh.
And I really want to say, because the fantastic thing also working with glass is also with all the skills people, you know, from people in the hot shop, the cutting area, or people helping you, all the tradition. This is really a teamwork. And I mean, I fall in love. Everyone falls in love with glass. Because it's, you know, you see the process and it's like, oh, it's hot, 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 and it moves all the time. And you need to be very quick, but you also need to think and be patient. And then suddenly, it translates to this clear crystal. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's magic. I mean, and it's a passion. And got the opportunity to be close to the production and work with that, all the people. It's all projects. You need to start from a new. Of course, I have more experience today, but at that time, the company let me to really learn. So that was the start.
Yeah. And where would you say, where do you get your inspiration from?
The inspiration could be many, many things. Actually, it could be a very specific brief. It could come from ideas, you know, what I have in my head. I love to see, you know, to be in the presence, look the influence in the politics. That could be maybe, but that affects your society and environment. It could be fashion. I love to look at architecture because that's a long term, and of course, nature. So it could be many, many things mixed together in my head, and then it comes out.
So, thank you, Lena. But can't you tell us a little bit more about, I have some more questions that I have prepared, but a little bit more about the Karat collection, because that is, for the last 5 years, that has been the #1 collection for Orrefors, internationally, globally, all over the world. And you have some beautiful pieces in front of you. So can you tell us a little bit more about Karat, that brief, and how you came up with the design?
Yeah, as I mentioned, it was actually all designers was involved, or the company asked, could you please do some design to modernize the crystal? And I thought directly, I wanted to do a pair of candle holder. And in the past, the cutting was very much symmetrical, a little bit traditional. I felt I wanted to do a kind of cutted chaos. But also I wanted to look like, please my assistant, some close-ups, that it would look, let's see, yes, it would.
Oh wow, look at that.
Look like gemstones stacked on top of each other. So it looked like a jewel. And also this, I would take this, a very, very clean foot, like the pack. And also a top with platina that is a very beautiful contrast to the cut crystal. And of course, it takes care of the candle. So that's how it started. In different heights, of course, 3 of them. And it's actually started with a success. And I felt directly that this I love. It's a point that you know you feel. You can't. I mean, you can't explain numbers, but you can feel this is really what I wanted to be. I was really satisfied, and I'm happy to say that actually they went well. The people buying, they loved them, so the Karat became a huge family, and it's from actually. Could you please give me the candle holder? The pair of candles, they make love. And then it became a tiny little, it's actually 2 versions of tiny little children for Karat, 2 motifs. But also it became from, I mean, these centerpieces, could you see it on the left-hand side, and the big vase that would take over the room and sparkling, and kind of the cut or eaten up the shape, like, paler orange or something. And it's actually asymmetrical. And that I wanted to bring from the chaos cut, this all over the place, to this sparkling like crystal water falling from the vase. And this tiny little love, taking care of the small flowers. And tabletop. And I felt the plates, is 2 plates, really that it's good. Today, a lot of people start to eat greens, hot greens, seafood, and it's actually look a little bit like crashed ice. And so the food looked very elegant on the cut, and I felt that it's the right time to launch Karat plates regarding to what kind of food. They're starting to be trendy, to become trendy. It's perfect time, I feel. So now we are actually on the tabletop, and I can't explain about what's coming up, but there'll be more. So the grows, it grows.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Thank you. And
it's been a success.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased about that.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic success. And I think we have a fun story with the big, if you can just point on the round vase that you have on your, the big one there, the big one. Yeah, like you just showed us a little bit. You did, there's a fun story. You produced a similar one with the cutting in the bottom. Yeah. A couple of years ago, and that was produced as a limited edition of 500. And it was supposed to last for a couple of years, and it sold out in, I think, less than 2 years. So you just had to design again fast. So that's a little bit fun story, like to show really like how like Karat still keeps on surprising us on the sales side, and also with it's a fantastic, really appreciated collection.
No, I think also it was actually very hard because it's clear crystal and cut, and that could become so many different ways. And I want to mention, because I'm working with the cutting area since I started. The guys still, they know me. We have been working together for almost 25 years. Oh
wow. Yeah, I think you're celebrating that this year. We're celebrating 25 years this year. No, 94, sorry.
Because of the corona.
Yeah. Yes.
We can say 25. I call the exhibition, the theme Lena 25, but coming up an exhibition in Costa this autumn.
Yes. Okay, so you have another beautiful piece in front of you with a little bit color. Can you tell us about the story about this? Because some of you might have seen this before and recognize it. So please tell us a little bit more about it, and what's the name of the collection?
The name of the collection is Squeeze. And actually this is another product that I did when I started. It was launched 1997, and this is coming back. I'm so happy about that. And this is a nice story, because people, you know, we spend some time in the hot shop to do samples, and that's actually very, very important for the develop products, because it could come out an idea, oh, I can translate this to a product. That was actually the squeeze story, because at the first exhibition we were working for, was supposed to do big, it was part of the exhibition, big clear drops and black drops. And Jocke, at that time, we worked very live, very talented glass blower. He kept the pieces too long time in the heating area, so it started to collapse. And I said, no, you can keep it. Take it out right now. And then I had a look that looked like stopped in the middle of the process. And then I tried to figure out how could we solve this in the production. So we developed a special tool. So it's actually blown as a cone. And when it's still hot, boodoo, we squeeze it in 2 directions. And it holds the flowers because it becomes a cross.
So it's like hugging the flowers.
Yeah, and now my husband, my assistant, he brought the mama squeeze. So this is the beginning.
Yes. So is this one from '97?
Yes.
Art piece.
This is an art piece.
Wow.
This is actually an example how you can get ideas from a mistake. Suddenly something happens like this, beautiful, unique, take care of that. To how can we solve to have this kind of movement in the design, and on top of that, it becomes functional because it's a craft. It becomes a
Q&As to make it a little bit more interactive. We're going to take the questions right away, some of them right away, because they're connected. So Philip is asking us, what tools are used to cut the crystal, and is there a risk of breaking the piece during this process?
You mean the process of squeeze or cutting?
No, I think cutting, like carrot. Like if you see the cutting in carrot, like how is that? What tools do you need to use, and how is that production? How do you do it?
No, actually, it's a good question. You start to blow a globe, for instance, the big one. We take that as an example.
Yeah.
And in the hot shop. And then when it cools down, we go to cut the cold area. And then I look upon the globe and draw with a pen, a special pen. This is the first sample that's stuck to the glass. And then I draw the areas where they will cut, and then we cut on another piece just to look how deep the cut will be, how big it's going to be. And then I said, okay, this is good, this is perfect. Then they start to cut, because in this case you need to hold and cut in many different kind of direction. So it's not just one direction, it's all over. And then after I look on the piece and okay, is it something missing? And then maybe I correct something, but now we have been working so long time, so they know me. They're fantastic. And then they start to polish. Yeah. So you have a kind of diamond wheels.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good. What exactly? So what is the tool?
It's a wheel. Yeah. In different stages. That first wheel do the deep cut, and then it's 3 steps, and the last one is with diamonds and polish. Yeah. That it become clear. So it's many stages.
Yeah. So if you don't polish it, what will happen?
It doesn't become clear.
Exactly. So it will be frosted, a frosted expression.
Yes, that kind of look.
Yeah.
But that you can use sometimes. In this case, I wanted to have clear, shiny look. So that's the carrot. And the first one we did the same thing, but then it was a massive stem. This is a globe with air. So it's different. Depending how the ground shape look like. You need to test before you start with the sample. So it's really teamwork with the samples than you know in the beginning.
Okay,
so it's
good.
a lot of yeah.
Okay, so next, are you ready for next question, Lena?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so this question is from Jake. Who are some of your favorite artists or designers? Also, what is your favorite product that you have designed yourself? Thank you, Jake.
Myself, I have to think, oh God, we have many good design. In the past, I would say at Orrefors, I would say Ingeborg Lundin. It was many good designers. And I have many good colleagues that looking upon, you have Jasper Morrison in London, you have it's so many good. Thinking of architecture, God, now I'm a little bit.
We can come back to the question also.
We can come back.
But maybe you can say, what is your favorite product that you have designed yourself?
Always like, picking your favorite.
Yeah.
I love them all in different way, but I would say the beginning is I love puck and squeeze. Squeeze I love because it's very hard to do a design that you haven't seen before, so to speak. It's a library of many different expressions, but that I would say is and karat. I mean, but squeeze because it has this kind of story, and it's the design look like stopped in the process. But I also love this kind of cutted feeling, that when it's sparkling. So it's sorry, maybe boring answer, but
no, but that's okay. So we're gonna do one more question right now, and then we're gonna talk a little bit more about you for a while. So thank you, Jake, for that question. So let's see here. Yeah, we received this question from Tia and from Britt. Similar question. So how long does it take from design, from an idea to design to production and, out in the shelves? Like, so from an idea that you see to the end product. Thank you, Tia and Britt, for the question.
Sometimes it could be too long. It depends on many people involved in the process, but to try to, because the different stages of the process is, it start with the idea, it could be the brief, and you work together with the product developed area with different people that you look upon an idea. When I've been, we have produced for instance, if we did like this and we put it on the table, and then as many people are involved that are going to have opinions, how much will it cost, blah, 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 blah. And then we are going to produce it, and sometimes it doesn't work technically. So we need to do some changes, and then the product hopefully is born. Yeah, this is actually interesting because this one, karat, I put on the table like this. I'm happy, I'm satisfied. Actually, it took 2 years before it was launched. But I think it was launched at the right time, so to say. Sometimes you could be too forward, so it's
too early. Yeah, definitely.
But it's actually very different. It goes so quickly as well, actually, but it's more time. But it's a good question. It's a good question. Hopefully I answered the question.
Thank you, Tia and Britt. So before we go into, I think you did. I think you did. But if you said 2 years for karat, then sometimes it can go shorter and sometimes faster, and sometimes it takes a little bit more time. It depends. That's the answer. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
it depends also. It depends. For instance, squeeze at that time, it's just, I thought actually squeeze was nobody should understand, and it just went like this. But it depends on the time and what people, you know, it's so many. But it could be, I would say, from 1 year to 1.5, 2 years before they are actually in the shelves. 2 years.
Okay,
Today,
good.
nowadays. Do you
Nowadays,
agree?
yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think that sounds like yeah, fair. Definitely. A question before we go into products, because Erin has put together a beautiful presentation with some pictures of products that you have done throughout your 27 years with the company. Before we show that, I would just like want to hear a little bit more about who is Lena Bergström. It's a simple but hard question.
Olle, my He's sitting here, my husband.
Yeah. Hey, Olle.
Who am I?
Yeah.
I'm actually happy that I succeeded to make a career out of my passion, and I live this 24 hours. This is my life, and I love it. That's Lena Bergström. But it's also, I got the opportunity to actually, from an idea, to see it in real. Olle, as I'm talking about that you can't see, he said to me for many, many years ago that he working with ads and graphic design. Oh, I'm so jealous, Juliana, because you come home with pieces, real objects. I'm just doing ads, they disappear. You know, I think this is about passion. And I'm always telling this, teamwork, you know, meet people, different skills and talent people. That's a real opportunity. But who's Lena Bergström? Maybe Emma, you should, I don't know.
No, but I think
I'm doing sports.
Yeah. No, but just interesting to always to know the person behind. I think, you know, I have had the opportunity for 8 years to, you know, work closely with you in a lot of projects. For example, when we launched the Sarek collection. So maybe Erin, we can maybe share the picture presentation now when you have time. Yeah. So we can have that in the back. Thank you, Erin. And we can just make it full screen. So I just think that every time people have the opportunity, and the reason why we wanted to have this presentation or this designers talk is just for people to get to know the person behind, because I think a lot of people, you know, they see your beautiful products and they see the design, maybe they see some interview here and there, and they see the picture of you in a magazine or on the box, but it's been such a joy for me to work with you so close for so many years that I felt like why we need to do this is for people to get to know the person a little bit behind the products, because you're as fantastic as your products you are as a person, and I really mean that. But let's do so now that we're going to go through a little bit of your collections. We talked about carrots, so we can go to the next slide, and then maybe you could give us a short presentation of what we have in front of us.
Yeah, this one I was talking about, and this is really interesting. I call them planets, and this is unique piece or limited pieces, and this is actually a shape comes from an egg. I was fascinated that an egg shape could be so different depending how you cut. So this is an example. You saw some pictures from the cold area. I was draw on eggs. And so I actually, you can't believe this, but this is actually a crystal clear, huge egg in beginning. And then I draw, after it passed, you know, the oven and it's cold and clear, I draw lines how to cut the beginning of the shape. And that's still clear crystal. And then I telling the guys to do this kind of carrot cut, not all over the egg. And I call them egg when they are ready, I call them planets. And the last, this is actually math cuts. And then we spray it with platina. And then it becomes this kind of mirrored carrot planet look. So this is really, can you believe how many hands has been on this one? It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And this is your, and
it's a beautiful piece. And we have a question from Bimal. Hi Bimal. So he's saying, hi Lena, I am a big fan of your work and creativity. Absolutely love the design. What inspired you to start the planet collection, the planets? And also, where did your inspiration come for Carrot?
When?
No, where did you get your inspiration to produce the planets?
Actually, was an exhibition. This is, gosh, it's the first one I did for 20 years ago. They were small ones. And I was supposed to, it was white eggs with different colors inside, from settled down colors to strong colors. And then actually, this is a sort of squeeze story, because some of them cracked in a very nice way. So I actually got the inspiration from the cracking. And then I developed this, tried to find new different movement from the eggs. So the eggs was white and color inside from the beginning. And then I took the white color away. I mean, not literally, but we took it away. So it was clear, you can see on my website, colored clear ones with different cut. Yes, for instance, this one. And so they have been changing look and attitude through the years. And I also want them to, it comes from egg, all of us come from egg, but we are cutted in different personalities. And this is the same story in a way. So I've been twisted the egg shape and the different kind of colors and the cutting, and they become unique, like us, beautiful and unique personalities. And this looks like sea, you know, different kind of shades of water. And I think it's a picture with the platina inside. Oh, this is from the cold area. This is how I look like when I'm concentrating drawing the shape. And I actually, sudda.
Erase
With this kind of thinner, which is a liquid that, you know, I had after 3 days, I'm just blown away. But this is the beginning, how to start cut. And maybe we have a picture with the blue, with the platina, maybe, Erin? Yes. And this is interesting. You saw the transparent blue one. Here, the blue one is painted with platina inside. And suddenly you have totally another look. And the left-hand side, you have this opaque pink color painted with gold. And it mirrors itself inside. So suddenly it becomes totally different. So the planets has been close to my heart for many, many years. And I don't leave them, but they change look through the years.
Thank you. So let's thank you for answering about the planets. I hope, Bima, that you feel happy with the answer.
Just to say one thing. Sorry, Emma. But this is also, I want to challenge the skills. I mean, the people working there. Yeah. Also, what can we actually do?
Yeah.
Important.
Yeah, it's definitely important. I think it's like what I've seen. It's like dancing between the designer, artist, and the craftsman, and like you know, one have to sometimes lead the other one, and some, you know, and it's the collaboration between you guys that is so fantastic. And I love when I've seen like both you and other designers, when you're in the hot shop and maybe they're not becoming exactly how you think, you just take a small pen, like white, you know, pen, and you just draw on the floor in the hot shop. Yes. Yeah, and just like, this is my thought, we need to have more of this angle, or, you know, so it's very inspirational to, you know, to even just be there when you are creating, because is literally like an orchestra. Like you're standing there with your pen and being in there, and you need to do it together or it won't work.
Yeah, that's a good metaphor how it is.
Yeah.
It's like an orchestra. You need to have a special language. You need to be very direct and very good to explain. I mean, what are we going to do? And as you said in the beginning, when I worked in the hot shop, I was all over the place, and I felt the guys felt, okay. I felt, take a step back, Lena. And then you can come, So it's sort of, like you said, a dance. And in the cold area, that's not the same thing, but in another way. So
we do have one more question.
I love questions.
We have so many questions. We have so keep on sending in your questions, please. So there are people that have asked us. So I read it properly here. Don is saying thank you. Please thank Lena for staying so late to make this presentation.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah. And
so
Megan, Megan is wondering, why have you chosen glass as a material? How did it? Yeah, I think that's a perfect question. Thank you, Megan.
It's actually Orrefors that, found me. This is interesting. I was studying at Konstfack between 85 and 89, and that was actually textiles. And because I was working in plastic and rubber and sound walls and so on. And then a teacher asked me, 87, Lena, if it would be another material you want to work with, what shall that be? And I said, glass. And I didn't have any clue that Orrefors will contact me in 1994. Could you imagine? And I recognized that I'm very, interested in material. What can glass do? What can wool do? What can linen do? But in glass, I fall really in love. I felt this is a kind of my thing. Maybe it suits my personality in a way. I don't know, but I'm not the only one that loves to love glass. But it's also kind of, it goes with you, but it also could be a stubborn material. It could break, and then you need to have patience. But I mean, I stay there. Of course, I work in other materials too, but it's a lot of mostly in glass. So that was Orrefors. I'm happy that they headhunted me.
Yeah.
But it's a love. It's a big love.
Thank you, Lena. Don is wondering if there's more detailed information about the watches. And you told us before this meeting that the technique that you're using on the watch,
yes,
isn't it a little bit the same that you're using, there you have it, as you're using on the crystal bar? Is that correct?
Yes, it is. And that's Ulle, please.
So you both have in this. Yeah, so here you have it. There you have it.
You need light.
No, you can't see. So we can share. Yeah, so we can share it in a presentation. Everyone will share it.
Yeah, it's actually interesting talking about, and I've been working, as you understand, with cutted crystal since 27 years ago. And this is interesting because it's a wearable piece and to do a wristwatch. And I felt, oh my God, how many wristwatches do we have in the whole world? And how should this look like? So I was sitting down in 3 days and suddenly I got it. Of course, it should be facets, cutted facets in the glass. So I wanted the wristwatch to look classical, unisex, elegant, but also like a jewel. Because when you wear it, and facets, that's a flat cut that mirrors the surrounding in a very nice way. And this cut is actually 10 minutes to 12. And it's, I try to find out, have I seen this before? No. And I asked the producing people, have you seen this kind of look? And they said, no, Lena, we haven't. And I felt, oh, and we managed to do this cut. But of course, the combination with the leather, this leather is from a Swedish leather company. I also wanted to have the steel, so we can, you know, we have steel, we have the tapes in the northern part of Sweden, LKAB. And yes, and this is Sarek, this also.
Yes, so
yes, let's talk about the watch. It's also people asking me, because when you move your arm, it starts to, you know, vad heter det, blinka? Eller, vad heter det, blinka?
Shimmer or,
Glimmer.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and it's also, it's a Japanese, urverk. Oh, I dropped the words. Urverk.
So the inside of the watch is a Japanese
a mirror.
producer.
It comes in 6 different versions depending on the leather and also the background. But this is actually a mirror, so it mirrors. So that's why it becomes even more glimmering.
Yeah, yeah. It's beautiful. So
I mean, this is a love.
Yeah, but also can't you tell us also, and I can tell you about that. It also comes in a beautiful gift box where, like, we don't have a picture of it today, but you can see it on our website, orrefors.us. It comes in a beautiful gift box that I really recommend everyone to see. It's a beautiful product to give away, or, you know, to yourself.
Yes, and I think it's also nice to have it's wearable, and it's named O-Time. That's actually Olle helped me. Orrefors time. Yeah. O-Time. It's named O-Time.
Beautiful. It could, but it could also be Olle time. Your husband's name.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Olle.
Okay.
I haven't thought about that. I was so concentrated on Orrefors. Olle time. Yes.
Yeah, but please tell us about what we have in front of us.
Oh, that's Sarek, and you explained about the collaboration with Volvo. And this is fun. Emil, you need to tell about our meeting and when we watched the car. Hold on. I got the opportunity to be the designer to all this project. I'm happy about, but they wanted me to do a special collection for Volvo. And they wanted to express Nordic elegance and simplicity. And I felt it's not hard for me because I'm born in Sweden. And I brought up north, as I said. And when I was young, we went out to the mountains and forests very often. And my mother and father had some wooden boxes with birch tree. And the pattern on the birch tree was folded like triangles. And I also felt, and it was lit by the lid that was wooden in birch tree. That's why I wanted to bring the wooden lid to the cutted crystal. I love that kind of combination, you know, wood with cutted crystal. But it's named Sarek, and that's because we have a national park up north with 7 peaks, and that area are named Sarek. And it's a Sami, also a celebration for the Sami people, but also the peaks. That's why the cutted, you know, triangle is like peaks and also like icicles. So it's a combination of many, many things. And the little boat you see on the right-hand side is actually, when you put the light on, it looks like the Nordic star. So it reflects on the table. So it's a combination. And when we went for the first presentation, Emil, what did we? We were washing the car.
I would, we're washing the car. So I will do a very fast, we have 4 minutes left on this presentation. So I was gonna do a short, tell you a short story about that when we were having our meetings with Volvo. But a funny story is that one of our meetings before going to Volvo, we had this beautiful Volvo car and driving in it, and we were like, okay, it has to be clean when we go to Volvo cars. So I said, Lena, are you okay to have a walk and talk meeting sitting in a car, a car wash. So me and Lena was sitting in a car wash with each coffee and having our pre-meeting before going into Volvo. So that was one of the fun stories. Like, you have to be there, but that's a little bit how Lena, like, she's so flexible and so open and so really creative. So it was so fun sitting there with you. Okay, we have.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just want to add also that for Orrefors and Kosta Boda, sustainability has always been a very important part of our production and design. We did get one question. So Orrefors and Kosta, our factories, were one of the first factories in Europe that took away lead from the crystal and also acid. So everything that is produced in Kosta, Sweden, in our facilities are without lead, and we're not using any acid to polish the glass or in any way or form. And that really made us, we did this end of 70s, early 80s, that really pushed us because we invested a lot of millions to trying to find replacement materials in the recipe to make crystal in a way. So if you ever hear people say crystal today, that is the term of lead-free crystal. And if you hear anyone say full crystal, that means that the crystal has lead in it. So that's been very interesting. But the question to you, Lena, is how do you think about sustainability in your design for the future?
I would say I always been interested in sustainability because as a young teenager, I was politically active in the green side. I always been keen and ambition about thinking, good quality that lasts. But we live in an exciting times, and I'm actually right now involved with a steel company that are in the north, LKAB, SSAB. They're doing a project that they have developed fossil-free steel. Fossil-free production. Fossil-free production. So it's always a combination, because as a designer, you think about it, but it's a collaboration between the companies, because it's and also laws. We need to put laws on things. So it's always been close to my heart since I was a teenager. And that's why I'm thinking so exciting times. I think it takes too much time, too long time. That now we are talking about this. And I'm working in textile, and that's pure, that process is, yes, here we have a friend. Yes. So
yeah.
So that's how I look upon it. Also, long-lasting products that has also, as a design, you can stand for many years.
Yeah,
Classics with a twist, and modern, of course, but it's also long for last for a longer time. So it always
definitely, and also crystal as an and crystal as a material is also very sustainable if you compare it to a lot of other materials. It doesn't take too much energy to produce, but also when you use lead-free crystal as we do, we if it breaks, let's say it breaks in 10 years or 15 or whatever, it could break tomorrow, but you can always remelt it and recycle and reuse it again. So a lot of our production, so every time we have something that is not let's say that the designer did not like the outcome, or maybe it was too many bubbles or something, any reason, or it cracked. If it's clear crystal, we crush it down and we remelt it the day after and reuse it. Yeah. And the fantastic thing with crystal is that when you reuse, it takes even less energy to melt that down. So we just become even more efficient. And what we also do is all heat from our factory, because a lot of ovens with a lot of heat, we reuse it to heat up the village with the 800 people living there. So that goes to a system that heats up the neighborhood and makes that. So we're trying to reuse our energy. Okay, so the time is 2:01 p.m. EDT here in New York. So we do have some questions left, but I'm going to say this. So I think we need to finish. But we're going to do this. If your question has not been answered or asked, please send them to info@orrefors.us. That's INFO, info@orrefors.us. And we will reply to your question. We will ask them to Lena, and we will get back to you with your question. I just want to say thank you, Lena, so much for taking off your time to being part of the Designers Talk and guiding us on setting this concept and how it should be in the future. I think it's been it's already gone an hour, but it feels like we talked for 10 minutes.
I agree.
So I really think that it's a lot of, we have a lot of questions left, so we need to reply to all of these fine people that have asked us a lot of questions. But Lena, how does it feel? Do you feel that you have, is there anything you want to add before we finish this talk today?
I just want to thank all you that you deltagit, support. I mean, join us, join me, and ask all these questions. I'm so happy and pleased about that. I could continue for 1 hour, but I don't want people to get tired of me. But no, I really appreciate this, and hopefully I want to meet people in the future in real.
Yes, yeah. So going forward, so our plan for the future is that when the pandemic has come to an end and we can go back to a more normal situation, for twice a year we're going to have our designers come to our showroom in New York. So for the people that have the opportunity to come to New York, we will start there, and hopefully we might be able to do some pop-ups a little bit all over the United States. So that's our plan for the future. And Lena is going to come back, as I said in the beginning. Lena is working with different materials, but she also works with another hat that is called Crystal Bar, an artist. So you are going to see Lena in a couple of months again. We're going to send out the invitation the same way we sent out this invitation, and she will talk more about what's the difference designing for Orrefors or when you're designing for Costa Boda. And also she's going to talk more about her Costa Boda products. So there's a big difference between the brands, and we're going to talk more about that on our next Designers Talk with Lena. With that said, I want to say thank you, Lena, once again. Thank you to your husband and assistant today, Olle. And thank you so much, Erin, for doing a great job with the presentation and putting this together. It wouldn't be possible without you guys. So thank you foremost to you guys too, sitting there at home or in your office, for joining in today. We really appreciate that you're taking off your time to be part of this. It means a lot for us. And thank you. And don't forget to email us. So thank you, everyone, and have a fantastic continued rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Thank you.